There you go.
Howdy, folks. Keith Roberts here with Brazos Real Estate Investors Club. Hey, we're downtown at the Canteen in North College Station. I'm here with Kevin Kuplis, who many of y'all know. If you're in the area, College Station, Bryan, come on by the Canteen in Century Square, just north of Texas A&M University. If I move the camera a little bit, you'll be able to see A&M out the window. So I'm here with Kevin Kuplis of Titan Premier Investments, avid investor, buys, fixes, sells, holds, rents, flips, and whatever else. So just getting a snapshot of where you're at right now, how the summer's going, what are you doing? What are you focused on right now?
First question is, you said we're downtown College Station.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Is there a downtown?
Yeah, if there is, we're in it.
Oh, we're in it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Had to be sure. Summer is hot. It's still here. I would say refis are my thing right now.
Yeah, they are.
The dreaded refi. Money's cheap. Deals are hard to come by. The portfolio has horrible rates at 4s and 5s and 6s and maybe some 7s. So it's time to get better money. So I'm pushing paper.
And you were gone for a little bit this summer, right?
I've been gone for 70 days.
But you were doing stuff in.
So I was at our lake house in Minnesota, closing deals from our. I don't know if I told you that.
Mobile notary.
Yeah.
Mobile notary.
Mobile notary from overlooking the water.
Oh, that's nice.
Your daughter was sending us our mail for her mail.
Yeah, that's nice. Yeah, that's the good thing. So I just came home from a week away into the opposite of that, into some emails that I should have sent to a title company like last week and just found them today. So that's the opposite of your lakeside efficiency there.
I was working. I wasn't on vacation. I was working. Kids were on vacation. I was working.
Yeah, my son looked at me once when I was working in Charleston, and he said, "What you might be, but I got to pay for it." Yeah, so you're doing refis of some long-term. That stuff you bought,
Most of
fixed up on a short-term note. Short-term.
Most of it is long-term financing that was decent 4 years ago. It ain't decent anymore, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then some of it is fix and flips that we're keeping that is short-term, but the bulk of it is repositioning older stuff.
Yeah, so getting a better rate and
Permanent money too.
Long-term finance.
I don't mean, you tell me you lend.
Yeah.
I don't know that permanent money, shoot, not over 20 years or 25-year AM, but definitely not permanent. Was that even a thing a few years ago? Could you borrow in an LLC with 30-year permanent money? I never heard of it.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't doing it then. All the stuff that I refied it, they forced me to put it back into my own name.
But the point is, there are lots of people that, lenders. I mean, there's a lot of permanent 30-year money, LLC, rentals, limited doc. I mean, they're out there now. Go do it.
Yeah. And so how's the process going with you for your loans?
Is that a loaded question?
Well, I know one of them's taking a little bit longer, one of the 30 years.
Keith is technically the loan officer on a bunch of these, so
yeah.
If I complain, I just got to yell.
No, I'll just hold the space bar down. No, I'd like to know. I know that one.
I mean, we're doing all right. It's just one's taking longer than the others, but I think these next batch are going to be fine.
Yeah. So besides refinancing all that stuff, what's next on the agenda?
We got into this thing, and some people say I'm crazy, and I'm probably going to agree. We tried to do some build to rent products last year. for all the, and I've used this quote multiple times today, but for all the 1960s houses we buy and make them look awesome and stick a really good renter in there and fully rehab it, I still got 1960 slab and 1960 electric and 1960 plumbing. And so we really made a push to buy lots, buy dirt, try to develop some houses, duplexes, multiple units that we can have a 2021 date on them, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't realize lumber was going to quadruple in price. So I kind of got derailed.
Yeah.
But as it's going back down, we're revisiting the city today. We're trying to get back off the ground.
Yeah, we did a few to ramp a build to sell on a note, which is a little scary, putting a brand new house into a owner note, but it worked out good. Those are on routes, and we're doing another one of them right now in College Station.
And we had multiple houses that we were building to sell.
Yeah.
That were halfway in, 2/3 of the way in, right? What do you do when plywood goes from $8 a sheet to 27, 32, 40, 48, 60 bucks a sheet? I mean, I can't stop. We're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
And so we finished them and we shelved probably at least 5 builds that we will do eventually. But we inflated the price and we got it. And so it's probably the same math, and we got lucky because the market just kept appreciating. But yeah, I'm not thrilled with what it costs.
So some of those new builds we do aren't in the best neighborhoods, and I don't know that it could sustain the increase price, because we'd have to sell it for 190 up to close to 200, and already especially on a note, the payments are already 1700. I don't see somebody moving there for $2,000 a month.
And we got lucky because one of them I can think of, it was a 549 house, 550. By the time we finished, it's like we just spent 50 more grand than we would have last year, and we list for 595 and got 595. And so, it's probably the same math, but you take it. And then we had another one that was, 515, 520, and it didn't appraise by $2,000. I mean, after all that,
yeah,
like the appraiser says no on $2,000, we split $1,000 a piece. I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah,
but that house, same thing, would have been 480 last year.
Yeah. So you said that's what you did last year. You're looking to do that again, build to rent?
Well, this year we've still got new builds we're doing to sell because, I've still got to eat. I need some income. But I want to start keeping more rentals that we can build and have a new product. However, I haven't proven that it's economically feasible to do. We're about to find out.
Yeah. No.
I own the dirt. We started. We've drawn plans. We're working on permits. We're knee deep, not neck deep, but I guess it's time to try and see if it works.
Those are duplexes you were talking about?
Yeah, probably. If you have a lot and you're building one, you might as well get multiple units. So if I can do tries, I'll do tries. But at least I want to do a minimum of duplex. You get 2 doors on one lot.
I started to look at that today, running the numbers on it after I talked to you this morning, and I'm still overwhelmed with all the emails that I missed last week.
From me or from other people? I don't think
No.
Okay.
People about you, though. No. It's a few deals I was supposed to have sent stuff off, and I didn't. So anyway, I will look at it tomorrow. But I want to see if that will work on.
There's a huge national push. You can go to. You probably know. You can go to conferences. There's a huge build for rent, build to rent. Huge. I think it's Phoenix, Scottsdale. I don't know. They have huge conventions where there's guys that are rolling out 100,000 houses, 50,000 houses, 10,000. There's tons of these guys, and that's what they do. You see some. There's some on. I can think on way north Texas before it hits back on the highway. There's one they put in a year or two ago. There's one couple off Leonard Road. They're here. I see them. They'll build 50 units and build them all, and they're all for rent, and they operate it like an apartment, but they're single family homes.
So besides Bryan, College Station, and Minnesota, where else are you buying?
I'm buying anywhere that makes sense. We're trying to do a new build in Brenham. Same thing. This will be a build-to-rent, 3-2. Here in Beam, 3-2, new house. A lot I've probably owned 3 years, and cheap lot that I haven't done anything with, so we'll build on that. I got to submit paperwork tomorrow. Tomorrow's the deadline to make the September meeting with Brenham.
Oh, yeah.
We're in Iola a little bit. I like Anderson. Been building a little bit in Franklin, messing around with some subdivision stuff there. But I mean, really, I'd never love to leave College Station or Bryan or not much further. But you got to go where the deal is.
Yeah.
And they're not exactly here plentiful right now. They're there. There's stuff to buy out there. They're just not deals.
Jeff and I looked at a house in Castlegate yesterday. And we might get it. We might buy it. It's surprising. It's like a minute from my house, you know. It took me like 2 minutes to get to the
What's funny is
appointment.
I got a lead the other day that I was like, ooh, I like this neighborhood. Ooh, this is a good spot. And I type it in, and it's 1 day on market, listed by a relative of the seller. And so now I'm going, how do you handle that lead? Already listed, 1 day on market, the agent's related to the seller, and I get a call on it.
Well, I just tell people I'm never gonna go around a listing agreement, but if it's related, it's probably not making any money for it anyway. But I would
Working for free.
I wouldn't.
What I'm saying is I'm probably not getting a deal.
Oh yeah. Once it hits the market.
On 1 day.
Yeah.
But no, we're chasing a lot of stuff, trying to buy more dirt, trying to buy as many rentals as we can, building what we can, flipping what we can. But yeah, it's tough. It's tough to find things that make sense. So we're aggregating more money and buying bigger stuff, trying to operate, bigger projects.
We're talking about meeting back bigger in person, like downtown Ice House soon.
It's time.
Yeah, so
It's time.
September, October. September's like 2 weeks away, so I don't think, maybe late September. Late September or early October.
Month away.
Yeah, probably a month. So if you watching us, listening to us, want to get back, leave a comment, send us a note. Well, thanks a lot, Kevin. Good talking with you. Talk to you soon. And I think we got Jeff Kurtz coming up. All right, so that's Kevin Kuklis with Titan Premier. Keith Roberts with Brazos Real Estate Investors Club, 12 Realty, Jet Lending, and
what else?
Home Investors. Yeah, and a few others. So we will be right back. Hey, we're back. Keith Roberts with Brazos Real Estate Investors Club, Jet Lending. I'm also with 12 Realty, and I'm also a Home Investor franchise. And we're here at the CANTEEN in Century Square, north of Texas A&M University. I think we're still in College Station. We're about a few blocks away from Bryan, Texas. I'm here with Jeff Kurtz. We are at a happy hour meeting. We do this monthly. Getting ready to meet back up in person late September, maybe early October. I mean, we're in person right now, but we have a bigger event where we have speakers and cater. We're finally going to spin back up soon. But until then, we're meeting happy hour, and we got a few people out here today. Jeff Kurtz, I've been friends with since BRIC started. He's been a great member of the club, real estate investor. His company is Aggieland Homes. And he lends money, buys, fixes,
ground up,
rent,
land, owner finance.
All right, so he does a little bit of it all as well. So we're just gonna chat for a little bit. How's your summer going?
Good. I was able to take some time off.
Yeah,
that's great.
So me too. And I just told the last group. I just got back from South Carolina. We were there for a wedding. I was down there looking at VRBOs. As a potential investment.
Of course.
Yes. and we stayed in one. So that's doing the research from the inside of one. Great town, but my emails and work piled up while I was gone, and I spent today and yesterday catching up and still finding stuff I should have dealt with a week ago. So you got some time off. I did get some time off. I'm paying for it now. So what besides vacation, real estate investment wise, have you worked on this summer?
I've been working with some new investors, just helping them get some of their beginning deals.
Yeah.
So we've been looking at not only the hard money financing side of it, but also I work with a lot of contractors. What are the costs? What you should be paying per square foot? What should be paying for these trades? What are some things that are going to make that deal work?
Yeah.
Take a look at exit strategies. You name it, things that will make the deal profitable for everybody involved.
Yeah, and matter of fact, I was talking, so I lend money with Jet Lending, and so we were just talking about that this morning, that we think of our success cases as the ones who, get a good deal, get a loan on it, it goes through, we make it to closing, and they make a lot of money. That is a success story, but we forget about the new investor. I mean, everybody like to hit a home run on their first deal, but they discount the fact that a few of their first deals they brought to me, I did some quick math and I said, this isn't a deal. And they might be sad because they thought it was a good deal and walked away thinking I'm a party pooper, but a couple of them have come back later and said, thanks for not letting me buy that deal or telling me it's a bad deal. I think, and this is what you said, working with the new investors, that you shouldn't discount that. And if you're a newer investor, you shouldn't think you failed, because as I told one investor the other day, even as a professional investor, we look at least 10 deals to one that we buy, at least, sometimes more than that. So if you're looking at one deal and you didn't buy it, you might have 9 more to go till it makes sense to buy. And those aren't 9 failures; those are 9 not deals.
Yeah.
If matter of fact, my partner Jeff, not here tonight, but Jeff, not this Jeff, but before we partnered up, I had him come look at a house, and we walked out to the front lawn, and he said, "Don't buy this house." And I was kind of upset, thinking, it worked out. They were going to take my offer. I look back now, smarter, and I don't even have to look the deal up. I just know, I remember it, and I'm like, no way. I mean, it was a bad deal. I potentially could have not been an investor anymore after that deal. So that's great what you're doing with new investors. So working with new investors, contractors, like linking them up or just vetting them or what?
Well, when they're new, you're kind of looking at, okay, here's what I think I'm going to spend. Should I get a subcontractor that does everything for me, or should I piecemeal it out? So we'll take a look at, here's what I'm paying ground up construction. When I got quantity, here's what you're probably going to be paying for a one-off house. And letting them kind of weigh which one's going to be better and which one's going to be faster. Because obviously, older money has a cost, but they're dealing with me or you. So the quicker they can get it done on the market and sell it, I appreciate being frugal, but you save too much money on getting it done, but it takes 2 months, and you really didn't save any money.
No.
And helping them see that.
And that's the same when we list houses for people. We're realtors also, and they'll let a deal collapse over a $500 ask, and I ask them, what's your house payment? Because if you let this deal go, I guarantee you're gonna make another house payment, and it's gonna be more than $500. So it's not my money. I'm not trivializing your money for you, but I can compare. 500 is less than whatever your house payment is, guarantee. And so people, I think, get emotional and they don't realize what's the cost of it. And you've had contractors come up to you, start to tell you a big long story. I just cut them off. How much and how long? Like, after you tell me that, you can tell me about it. Just $500 in a week. Okay, do it. So Yeah, I think explaining that to newer investors, also not wanting to do stuff twice. I've saved money on plumbers before that I then had to pay for twice. So is doing it twice cheaper than doing it once more expensive? I was telling someone the other day, there's things that I won't do with somebody's cousin anymore. Plumbing, electrical, obviously AC, paint. That's maybe. So working on them with contractors, funding. What else?
Every now and again, we'll split up some property, take a look at some land deals, how that might work. County restrictions, septic. If you're in county, out of county, ETJ, house splitting will work. What are some of the headaches that might be coming along with that?
House splitting?
Not house splitting, land splitting.
Oh, yeah.
House on part, but we're going to split the house off, keep some, develop it. Little things like that. I've run into some headaches with it in different towns. Fighting with the city's no fun. So.
Yeah. So what's next? What's next on your agenda?
Or what I'm up to next?
Yeah. What's the next
a few more
big project?
Starts, few houses.
In what city? Snow. That's what you carved off. You carved some bigger things.
No, pretty much good development there. I'm building a house out there with them.
Okay. So ground up, and you're already doing somebody who's doing the build. Anybody? You. Oh, okay, good. Yeah, good. I just talked with Kevin, who you know, and he's done the same thing. We've done a few in the past. Aren't doing any right now, but we might soon. We looked back at the pricing and thought, it's 20 grand more, our budget, and that's as cheap as we can get the house. And so that's kind of that was our profit out of that deal. So unless we can sell for 20 grand more.
Yeah, we were fortunate that we were able to increase the price due to the crazy demand right now. Because the wood price a month was over 12, 15 grand more than the previous house we did.
Yeah.
6-8 months before.
Yeah.
We were kind of chewing our nails a little bit. It's like, okay, early on in the spring, will prices go up enough to cover these costs? Luckily, they did.
Yeah. So the ground up. So we were talking about getting back downtown at the Ice House, doing another big event. If you ready for that?
Sure.
So think late September or early October. Hoping to get back downtown. The logistics didn't work. I know Eddie's group out of Houston's meeting already back. They've been up for a few months. Yeah. So I think we can do it. Anything else I missed that you want to talk about?
Good.
Appreciate you talking.
All right, thanks, Keith.
Thanks for coming. And that's it. If you're nearby Century Square in College Station, we're at the canteen. Come on down, leave your comments for what you want to hear us talk about next. And if you want to get on the air, just sit near me at this next event here. All right, take care. It's Keith Roberts. We'll see you next time.
So, and a lot of that is going to have to be replaced. But it's got some really 1935 toilet. The year is stamped underneath the lid.
That toilet's changed.
There are two of them. Iron, I think iron kind of bath is probably original. And there's one upstairs too because it's 2 stories. Okay, this is the stuff we're going to preserve the look and the feel of it. So the key to houses in that area is gentrifying, is to make it like living in New York, but keep a lot of the aesthetics. Yeah, and push it a little bit. We got to get it to be 4-bedroom, 2 bath. 35. 35 is the official date. Okay, so the ceiling is falling down, but it's not falling down. That's just paper. Ceiling is good. The paper that they put over the ceiling is peeling off like, I don't know if you've ever seen it. Absolutely. And that's what I got, not my opinion, but the opinion of the pros. Looks worse than it is. And they saw when I first saw it, I was like, I am not going in there. It was like, yeah. But the contractor's like, oh no, it's all good. So there's a really super cool upstairs. Let's see if I can get that. The upstairs with the dormer staircase. Yeah, no, I want to see, we got the banister and everything. I'm thinking if we put like a ball pit for a landing, anyway. The designers. Exactly. Oh, and there's a lot of original features from 1935. That lighting fixture, the doorknob, the door lock. There's a new lock inside the door lock. The outer and the doorknob, it's all original. The door's original. That is the upstairs. The upstairs bedrooms, they're large, and particularly for 1935 when they were raising families of lots of kids in 8x8 bedrooms, sharing 8x8. The 2 upstairs are 2 dormer rooms like this, and they're both like, I'd say 10 by 14. Length of the house, whole length of the side of the house. And there's a bathroom in between them. And it's super cool. So I got a designer partnering with me, and she's like crazed excited. North Bryant. It's 2 blocks from Haswell Park. Around here, it's all about Haswell Park. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it on the historical list?
No, thank God. But it's got, you get these kinds of doors, original doorknobs. The designer went absolutely nuts when she saw the doorknob. She was like, if we have to tear this down, we save the doorknobs. Yeah. No, she's got a ton of stuff and moldings and things like that. She's got a ton of stuff that she's like, we are saving this stuff. Okay, there's another look at the performer. And the owner's got a lot of this stuff out. There's some still in there that we've got to, I got to figure out. I got to. But anyway, it's, you can tell we're using a flashlight. Flashlight for hires. I love, these cell phones, they're the greatest thing in the world. But it's got the lady who lived in it and influenced the most used bedroom number 4 as a piano room. So she never closed it in. It was through walls, through siding. So our idea is to put some glass walls there with a curtain over them, and that could be a bedroom, it could be an office. But as long as we get a closet with in there, it's a bedroom. And the bathroom situation, anyway. So it's a pretty cool house. It's a super cool house. When I saw it, I was like, oh my God, get the bulldozer. Yeah, it was, my sister was like, she was like so impressed with all these renovated houses. And so that one needs to be done. Yeah. That one needs to be done. Yeah. So we're driving down the street. It's like, and that's the one I bought. She's like no. The Adams house, you know the Adams family? The Adams family house is in better shape. I think it was the Adams family house, but the original owner was named Goodman, so we're going to get a little sign, I guess, that says the Goodman house. And we're not going to create a historical house out of it because this is going to be very comfortable to us. It's going to be like living in new build. And there are two ladies who, are you familiar with Renovation Wranglers? Okay, well you should. You need to get to know them. It's a mother-daughter team, and the mother, Sarah Norman, has been in real estate around here for like 30, 35 years. And Sarah, her daughter, came out of, but anyway, she like renovated probably a dozen places in the downtown. Many times they are very forthcoming. They told us that it's got to be for the next buyer who's a millennial. They love this stuff. They don't care if it's a mixed neighborhood. This would not work back in the 80s, early 90s, when people were just so rigid about the neighborhood they were living. But now, as long as it's like living in new build, they love the outside Cleaver house. And you know what? I have got to get some photos of some of those renovated houses because they are so classic and elegant. And they all have a porch, a porch. And they've got, you know, the pillars on the porch. And anyway. I'm going to have to drop you there. 1430 Baker. You should text me your address and you can come see it sometime. I'm welcoming. We just did okay. Thank God it is not on the city's teardown list yet. And I have a friend who is, not a city employee, but a volunteer. I don't know if it's a board or what they call it. The people who decide which of the houses in Bryan needs to come down. It's like, Curtis, my friend. And so anyway, I've been working with the city since before we bought this. I made friends in the I can't remember exactly what they call it, but it's the engineering. They're engineers, and their job is to make sure that houses in Bryan are livable. And this has been in this condition for a long time. Those holes in the roof, they didn't happen overnight. The guy was talking about the freeze last February. Oh no! That hole. Well, oh no, that's the interior. Yeah. No. That hole did not. Those holes did not happen during the freeze. They've been there a while, and that's why all the paper is coming. So, but anyway, so went to the city. Said this is what we want to do before we ever bought it. They are so on board. I invited the whole department out. And they were so excited. It was Friday afternoon. It was the last thing they did. And when we were looking at the outside, one of them told me, I am practicing life rule number 1 for engineers. Stand in the shade of a tree. So I learned something there. So anyway, they're excited to see something like, because we told them, we're not restoring, as in putting it back exactly what it was. We are preserving all the things we can preserve, and we think that either the upstairs or the downstairs could probably keep the original hardwood floors. And, you know, there's one of them told me, she said, I've done houses like this, that the wood over the fireplace, that is cool fireplace. It's got built-in wood shelves on either side. And she said she thinks the wall over it is yellow pine, some kind of yellow pine that's actually extinct. Yeah. And so, anyway, our interest in preserving and the architectural features that you don't see in homes now, like that really super tall closet. When you walk in the house on those wooden floors with that pyramid foundation, it sounds. My grandmother lived in a really, which I now realize, didn't know at the time, but now realize it's a little tiny house, but it sounds like her house. And so anyway, we preserve that, make it very livable, taxpaying homeowner in it. They're all about it. It's close to the courthouse. And I told them I'm not going against the city in any way. I want to work with you. Oh, well, thank you. It is, and if we do it well, I'm hoping they'll return more to us because there are a number of houses. Good to meet you. There are a number of houses in that area that you can come to them. And this is the house, the rentals that I'm selling. As for this, the bank, I've got a bank who's like, you're so good, you pay on, you pay on time, no questions asked. We want you to go with some more stuff. And they looked at this and they were like, yep, we'll do it. And I didn't think, this is normally the kind of house you can't get bank financing. That's what I would have guessed. A homeowner, but this is the thing, this is a key to real estate investing. You must have a local bank. Chase Morgan, Wells Fargo, they are never, ever, I was a customer of Wells Fargo for 18 years. I had accounts with them. I had 2 mortgages. I had life insurance. I can't even get a conversation with them on investing because that's not what they do. Everything has to be able to be packaged in the security. What they want is a homeowner-owned mortgage. That's what they want. Okay. So Extra Co is a local bank. They know you. Everybody in the lobby knows me when I walk in, and they know my renters who pay their rent. Extra Co. Are you familiar with this area?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay. Well, Texas Avenue and Villa Maria, just north beside the kettle, is Extra Co Bank. Gerald Popp. Sorry, he pronounces it Popp, P-O-P-P. He's one of the vice presidents there. And if he signs off on it, it's done. He said, no problem. And yeah, it's very cool. I never thought for a minute at a good rate and everything. And they want to finance the renovation. They finance the purchase. And the reason I didn't use cash for all that is because we want to preserve the cash. When you get a bank loan for a renovation or something like that, there are certain things they pay for and certain things they don't. So we want to preserve the cash because it's discretionary. We can decide, if it's an extra, is it worth it? Is it going to add to the sales value of the house or do this, which bank considers unnecessary. Anyway, that's okay.
So my uncle just did a full reno, not this bad, but it was pretty bad. 46 square foot. Would you come to a price of how much he does?
Well, we are helped greatly by the rise of sales right now, but more than one contractor to give me a block number to do the whole thing, and you never know for sure until you this is the thing, and I'm being kind of an idiot with this house because one thing you never want to do is get into something where you have to tear out the walls. Don't do that. You don't want to.
My uncle found out he had to tear out the beams up in the attic. It was quite the process.
Well, and this is the thing. Part of the plan, part of the financial plan is that some walls are going to go and some beams are going to go. And we're just going in with the assumption We've got mold. We've got asbestos. We've got lead stain. We just assume it. Everything. And renovation wranglers, my role models, I think they backed off. They're probably going full bore again when the market went down. But their standard, when they go into houses like this, and theirs are usually one story. But anyway, when they go into houses like this, all the walls are coming out. They're all coming out. All the plumbing, we're going to redo the plumbing from the connection to the city hall. We are total electrical redo. Brand new HVAC, brand new roof, brand new. It will do foundation work, whatever needs to be done. The five most expensive things you can do are HVAC, roof, foundation, plumbing, and electrical. Their plan is to redo it all. And the crazy thing is that they were paying asking price below $100,000, but asking price for some of these houses, I'm getting so outbid by them. And they're still making money because they're putting a huge amount of money into it. If you
so much value just with a company that age and making it.
If you can bring it back, and our thing with the city is, if we find out we have to tear this house down and build another one, which by the way is going to cost about the same, whichever happens, we're going to try and make it look like this. So we don't think we're going to have to do that, but fingers stay crossed until we get that outer wall. And I've told the contractor, I don't want to hear about another single thing, asbestos, lead paint, any of that, until we do that part. We may not have to, no, don't have your guys out there ripping out asbestos and lead paint. Forget that. Until we fix the outer walls. And see the joists and what's inside. So anyway, that's, but this is so I've done a few. I would never have taken this on as a brick project. That would be insane. Those are the people who come to BRIC for a few times and well, not just scared away, but maybe they lost their mind into something. Sure. I didn't do it by square foot. I should have done it by square foot, but I didn't do it by square foot. Okay, so there's two ways to go on this house. If we get it to 2,000 square feet, it's just under that right now. Well, it's probably still going to be 1,900, and we get 258 for it. We're looking about 13 for basic price. That probably doesn't sound right. But we're looking at like a 1,900, 2,000 square foot house. We can move it a little bit to it, so we're going to get up to 22. So the base price is $250,000. If we can walk away with that, we'll be good. But we have been told, that this could be 300 or better.
It's crazy right now.
So I get outbid for a lot of houses because I am so pretty conservative because I'm raised in the early Midwestern, middle class. I'll never lose it. Yeah, no, we were bidding on one. Oh, geez. I thought the fair price for that house was like $35, $40. Somebody came in there with an offer of $85, and they did it.
Really? And it was similar to this one?
It was small. It was in a brilliant location. Oh my God. I was sorry to see that one. It was just. So, so this is University Drive and we're in College Station. So, not that far back away from University Drive is Brand. Property taxes are better.
Yeah.
A lot of things are better. Now the things if you get north of Texas Avenue, you get some houses that are they're wonderful. They're built 1950s, 1940s. Those houses are better built. People travel to College Station in the 60s and 70s. Yeah, I wish I could hunt down some of those builders and say something. But and that's right. So close to College Station. College Station is, oh my God, it's another 50 to 100 grand just to get to College Station.
How would you end up sourcing that property?
So, BRIC is a really super good place to start, but just in general, you develop contacts and contacts, get to know people, and let them get to know you. Talk to them, let them know what you're about. And I had somebody come to me and say, I've got a friend, he and his wife, they're about to hit 70. This house, they have owned this house since 1985. Nobody's lived in it for 10 years. They've lived in it somewhere else, not too far away. And he's definitely coming to the opening realtors, whatever, he's definitely coming. And they have finally kind of seen the light that this house needs to go. And this is the money they're looking for. If you can pay it, he's ready to take the money and see the house and not be his problem. The house is not going to be his right. This is so far over his head. And this is what happens to old aging owners. To my parents' house instead, they're in a very nice house. But as they get older and older, they don't keep up with the maintenance, even on simple things like the maintenance, the HVAC and things like that. They're just not doing the stuff. And it adds up. And if you own something, I think that some people don't realize this. You have to keep putting money into it, repair, maintenance, and even upgrades. And if you don't do that, you are losing equity. Well, obviously, compared with 10 years ago, the last time he had a family member living there, his daughter lived there for 2 years with her kids, he has lost an incredible amount of equity. But with the holes in the roof, he was really embarrassed about that. He was saying, well, he would cover them, but his knees are bad, he can't get up there, his friends, the in-laws, the neighbors. It's like, and all that. I was like, just tell him you have a pro put some items. Okay, you're not going up there. I'm going to get a professional up there. And right now, there's Tyvek for all that. And I did that as soon as we were making an offer. It looked like we were going to closing, and really, you shouldn't be spending money before closing because you never know if you're actually. But just to make him feel better, he was so adamant.